All right, we are here at Joe's Gym. I've got my wife, Julie. We are going to be doing deadlifts. Matter of fact, these are going to be sumo deadlifts. These are great male, female exercises. These should be incorporated in, especially females, right? Guys, you don't have to worry about talking guys into doing deadlifts. But women, you should definitely be doing deadlifts. There's two different standards. There's your standard deadlift, or two different variations. Your standard deadlift and also your sumo deadlift. All it is feet and hand position are going to make the differences. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to do sumo deadlifts. For a lot of people, it really depends on, length of limbs, which one's more correct in terms of how it feels per the individual. So this is an individual preference, basically. I would say do both, but the ones that you feel more comfortable doing, that's what I would stick with what works for you by trying the variations. But on a sumo deadlift, what I'm going to do, Julie's got 25-pound plates. This particular gym at my place, we don't have the bumper plates where they're, the round like the 45-pounders. Even the 5 and 10-pounders are as high, or the diameter of a 45. So you do actually have to come down a little bit further if you're going to use a lower weight. Sometimes you could prop up something to build the weights up a bit so you don't have to come down as far. We're demonstrating it this way because I do want to show more correct form. The further you have to go down, the more you have to emphasize on correct form. Again, this is a very, very important exercise to have perfect execution and perfect form. So the sumo, we're going to have feet wide, as you can see here. Feet wide, toes angled out towards the actual plates themselves. But I also want the bar pretty much up against your toes, or just over your toes, if not right onto your shins. What we're doing here is, what happens is most people I see, they just go way too fast on this movement. So feet are in position. You're right in the middle of the bar. You're going to find where your hand position is going to go. Now, what you just did is you came to the bar with your torso. I want you to come to the bar with your hips. Say, there's a big difference. Bring your hips to the bar, meaning squat down into it, right? So in this case, what I'm going to do, stand up, get your feet in position, just come down the bar. Now you can round your back if you want to. The approach is key, but you can bring your back down to it, round it off as if you're coming down to the bar. So you're in position, right? So come down the bar with your back in this case, like I said not to in the first place, but in this case, you can go ahead and do it. Round your back, get yourself in position, get your breathing, right? Now her back is rounded. This is not going to be the starting position. She has her feet in place. Her hands are directly below her. You're in your mind frame, right? Now what I want you to do is I want you to drop your hips, look up at a specific spot. Now her back is making that plane of motion where it's going to be straight up and down, parallel, right? Now I want you to drive up. Go. And back down. And again, you can see her back. Bring it down to the floor with your hips. There you go. Versus bringing it down to the floor with your back. Drive again. Go ahead and set it down. Now, this is kind of a key moment here. Now, here's what I'm going to have you do. Show the position to not start it. Again, sometimes it's great to show what not to do. You don't want to lift from this position. Go ahead and do it for about 5 inches. Okay, bring it all the way up. But again, that is what I mean by lifting with your back versus lifting with your hips and lifting with your body. And then also that was putting it down with your back. You're basically just bending your spine and lifting up. Yeah, you successfully lifted the object from point A to point B. You successfully lifted the weight. But what you failed at doing was correct form on those last ones. Those first ones were correct. That one was not. Yeah, you successfully moved it, but the problem is later on in life, when your back hurts and things like that, you're going to be thinking, what did I do? We worried about lifting weights versus proper execution. Now again, the deadlift is something that you can incorporate especially on, again, like for women, guys, whatever, it doesn't matter. But again, your routine has to match the results that you're looking for. So these are great to incorporate, especially with a back and a glute and a hamstring emphasis type of day. You're obviously going to be working, I mean, your traps are even involved on a deadlift. A deadlift works practically every muscle you have almost. But again, these can really be incorporated on your back day and also leg day as well. Again, it's going to work your entire legs, especially a lot of glutes. Again, we have glute days for women, things like that. We have some exercises in here that are specifically designed for females. This is definitely one that needs to be incorporated in for especially female glute days and things like that. So, matter of fact, let's go ahead and do one more. I want 3 reps. Start off with all of your execution.
Correct.
Come up to it. I'm going to make sure the camera is proper on here. I'm going to zoom in and just kind of come into it. Get yourself in position. Get your breathing right. 1, down slow. 2, 1 more. 3, go ahead and set her down. So, again, a dead lift, lifting dead weight off of the floor. So, as you notice, what Julie did here, she came up, she slowly brought it back down. Yes, it is called a dead lift, and it's not a weight drop either. Lift it off, set it down slowly. That is the key. Don't drop the weights. There's debates on this all day long. Don't be one of those people that just want to hear something loud in the gym. Successfully lift it, hold it, successfully put the weight down. Again, you're going to work more muscles on the negative, putting it down as well too. Do you want to lift weights or do you want your muscles worked? Work your muscles, weight will be lifted. If you lift weight, it doesn't necessarily mean your muscles are working, right? So she came down, she set it down, stopped, and then came back up. She's not bouncing it, trying to, get the inertia off the ground to bounce it and come back up and hurry up and do it. One thing that we didn't discuss either was grips. A lot of people will use the alternating grip, which depends on forearm strength and things like that. A lot of people will do one over, one under. You did, and it's the same thing I do. I just feel more comfortable having both of my hands facing me. You will not have both of them facing away. Again, this is one of those you are at the freedom to pick it yourself. You will see some people have hand over and one under, and others where both are going to be over. It is one of those, go ahead and try it with the alternating grip. One under, one over. Still going to be in the exact same position. Feet out.
Like that?
Yep, get yourself in position, find your spot on the wall, and go. And set her down slow. Which one feels better?
The first one.
Okay. Now again, for her, it feels better. Again, there is not a correct answer on this. This is do both, see which one feels more comfortable, go with that one. So again, this is a sumo deadlift. And again, this can be important. Women, make sure especially that you are doing this exercise, especially again, back, glute day, things like that. Make sure it's incorporated.